Hello everyone, today we are going to go over a game where both us and our team was losing but we were able to make an eventual comeback. I have had comments asking for playing from behind, and while this isn't the perfect example of such, it does demonstrate how Yone's goals and playstyle shifts when you aren't in a 1v9 spot. Specifically, Yone transitions from a more calculating, play safe, and really caring about the smaller details to a more aggressive one where you kind of just send it with game-winning ults into the enemy and trading off carries when possible. With that, let's get into the game. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe. Love you all. The matchup for this game is Poppy. It's not exactly a great matchup, but I don't think it's super difficult or that hard of a counter. But Poppy is special in the sense that there isn't really a specific way that you should play the matchup. You can pretty much play it however you want, but there are a few things to note. Obviously, don't let her stun you with her E by angling yourself correctly. Her W grounding only happens when you Q3 or E dash during it, but not your R. And her passive auto can hurt, especially with graphs, so you can try to block it with W, and if you can, considering waiting for her to auto before doing anything. Finally, you can treat her Q sort of like a Yone Yas Q. I haven't played this matchup in a long time, so I low-key forgot her passive at the start, but it's not a big deal. We pretend to get her shield and bait out her Q. We are just playing it slow, nothing special, but notice we block her auto with W so we can stay healthy while poking her with Q3 and W. That's basically what you're doing when she doesn't give you the chance to all in. When she uses her W like this, you can go in and trade with her using E. It didn't seem like a really good trade because I was a bit slow to react and I didn't even use my Q. Oh, and when you Q3 her at a further range, her Q can't reach you. We continue doing what we did before and poke her down. Just as the wave is crashing, we E up when she goes to auto, and when Q is off CD, I flash W Q ignite, but I should just Q flash W, I guess. Missed by a tiny bit. Happens to the best of us. We shove the wave before basing. Since Poppy is really tanky, there isn't really much to do against her, and I repeat what we did at the start. I finally found an angle to all in when she picks up her shield, and I planned to buffer her ult with Q3, but I was a bit slow. I needed to just E, so I did make some really dumb mistakes in this game that shouldn't ever happen. Udyr is now running away from Wukong and comes up top to be sandwiched. Talia ults in to help and we focus the no W Wukong. What we hadn't expected though was that all 5 of the enemy team was going to be there, and I was killed instantly upon Eing back. Talia dies, and Udyr as well after trading off Poppy. Coming back to lane, I had a feeling Brand was still around since they just took grubs, but I didn't back off because I thought I could try and outplay them. What I didn't expect was to be deleted instantly, and when I clicked tab there was a 9-stack Darcio Brand, so that's on me as well. Brand chooses to continue staying top and begins proxying the wave. I take my chances at them with ult and once again miss a Q, so Poppy survives with 1 HP. I should have known that Poppy was going to readjust herself or E-stun and use Q in that direction. This showcases the importance of VOD reviewing games, as this deduction would have been easily missed, but it's valuable experience for future games against Poppy. One might argue that I shouldn't have gone up at all, but to be honest, I don't think it makes that big of a difference, and taking the coin flip is better since no one was going to help, and I wasn't worth much gold at that point. With that, we lost the first turret, and the rest of the map isn't looking too great either. Seeing that Poppy has gone downwards, I push and try to take the next wave. Twitch shows up, but since he has AP, he can't really one-shot me. So we trade 1 for 1, even getting his flash. Here, you can also see me muting everyone, and I almost never do this, but I recommend it when chat becomes just distracting and no one is communicating about the game. Zyra did indeed make a few questionable plays throughout the game and later on, but it's your reason and they're a Lux main, so I won't comment too much on her. Halia was struggling a bit against the Thresh, so I go mid to match him. As Thresh was basting, I go up to stop it and cancel out his QCC with E, but he takes the hook, meaning someone was coming, but since Udyr was right there, we decided to take the fight and kill them both. I'm not really sure why we didn't contest Drake at 3v5, but oh well. I go back to mid farming until Thresh randomly walks up, meaning someone is here again. The rest of our team was near, so we go in on the enemy, bursting down Thresh and Poppy once again. But as I go to push, the rest of their team shows up and goes for me. Normally, if we were fed, we would either ult away or just simply outplay them depending on the situation. But if you notice, many of the kills are not going to us, and if we analyze the situation, the enemy isn't exactly in a good spot. Our team is healthy and collapsing while they were half HP with some key abilities down. If we don't do anything, they would most likely back off and kill us when we eat back. The turret also is super low, so if we fought, chasing them would be easy with Udyr's movement speed. The only way we can force them to stay here is to ult in and die, which we do. Although they killed me, they were all picked off and opened up the window for Herald, bringing us back to the game. However, we weren't ahead yet until this next play. Drake was coming up and we had vision domination at the bottom side of the pit. The enemy chooses to engage, but since both sides are rather clustered, the fight was very condensed. Stacking up Q3, we ult in and Q3 the Twitch. With their carries dead, the rest of them are all killed along with Drake. Yes, I know the flash was unnecessary, but who can resist the urge of flash queuing into 3 of them at a spot like that? We used our death timers to also take bot tier 2 along with some jungle camps. Team appeared to be engaging in a fight, so I ran from mid to them. Alia ults in to block their retreat but was collapsed on since we couldn't really help and Brand ult forces all of us off. However, the enemy agrees and chooses not to back off after, so we pick them off after I reset. As I was splitting bot, Poppy came to match. She isn't really a threat to you at all in a 1v1 at equal items, so we engage in an aggressive trade as Udyr comes down and we finish her off. Seeing us do this, the enemy starts Baron and we TP to help. Once again, considering our role this game, we flash into the enemy and ult them, leaving us to get bursted down by Twitch, but it doesn't matter because we eventually get them all. Drake is coming up again, but our Zyra is split pushing for whatever reason, and I go in on Bren, who is isolated, and ult when he stuns us to cancel the CC, but he flashes and I probably should have left, but I don't know why I decided to flash on Twitch, so I die. After some peace and quiet, Thresh comes along with Bren to get me. However, not only is the wave stacked so Bren has no stun angle, I'm now a 4-item Yone and it's about time I got my revenge for earlier. With Q3, we chain ult and pop them both. Split pushing top now. At first it was me and Poppy, but more and more people showed up. Since Bren was in a vulnerable position, we quickly killed him. Finally, we all group mid and one final R to Twitch. Bren tries to stop the inevitable and we kill him before ending the game. Yone's engage can often win you games, and it has more value when used as a follow-up engage for survivability, unless it's a huge ult, but if you aren't in a place to carry, then simply forcing the enemy to take bad fights with aggressive engages, even at the cost of death, is a pretty effective strategy. You just need to get the damage in, aim for carries, and get your job done at all costs. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe. Bye bye.